As foreign ministry officials were to meet, someone had a plan to save the image, but sparked a heated debate instead. One side suggested swift action to prevent further public image damage, the other urged verifying facts first in case the news was false. If the public's anger was reignited, the foreign ministry would again be under the media spotlight. Suddenly, a clever official had a bright idea. Why not let the foreign ministry operate under the radar themselves? If the mission succeeds, the foreign ministry shines. If it fails, blame the rescue team, keeping the ministry blameless. The daunting task eventually fell onto Lee Minjun, who picked up the phone knowing it was a labor of love, yet he accepted the challenge, secretly hoping to gain something. Lee Minjun met through a middleman, a well-respected mediator in the Middle East, Will, who was no ordinary character. Will had mediated several kidnapping cases and had connections. That very day, he used his network to find out that the gender-neutral diplomat was still alive, but to successfully secure the hostage, the local rescue organization demanded a whopping $5 million, while Will's mediation fee was a neat 10%. Upon hearing this, Lee Minjun swiftly scribbled a note in the magazine cover, asking Will to arrange for a photo of the gender-neutral diplomat holding the magazine. Will quickly returned with valid intelligence, which helped the foreign minister obtain the Secretary-General's commitment and some funds, making him as giddy as a child. The whole foreign ministry was buzzing with excitement, but just as they were ready to spring into action, they were interrupted by the forceful arrival of Minjun. Minjun stormed in, declaring that the foreign ministry was just a bunch of talkers, and that the rescue operation should be under their department's lead. He bluntly demanded the battle plan. After all, this was a matter of national strategy, and the assertive Allen's office would never simply back down. As foreign ministry officials looked worried, Lee Minjun's voice outside said, "Let me handle this." Stepping in, he was met with a volley of mocking from Minjun, who asked if he had ever fired a gun. Little did he know, Lee Minjun had served in the Marine Corps, and his reply, according to Diplomat Rule #34, the moment Lee Minjun received the distress call, this mission was now deeply tied to him. Minjun ultimately left with high spirits. However, in the elevator, he was furiously cursing, which cracked up the high-ranking officials of the foreign ministry. Lee Minjun's performance in steadying the ship had genuinely impressed the foreign minister, and he seized the moment to make a request. He hoped that after the rescue operation, he could be assigned to the embassy in the US, as this had always been his dream. The foreign minister agreed without hesitation, and all the preparations quickly came together. Lee Minjun set off with a down payment of $2.05 million to rescue the hostage, but taking so much cash to a war-torn country was like challenging fate. The mediator thought of a middle ground solution. He had a local client wanting to make a big deal, and Lee Minjun just needed to drop the cash at the airport for a designated However, as soon as Lee Minjun stepped off the plane, he felt like he was under a spotlight, with airport guards zeroing in on his Asian face. After a search, the guards found just daily items. Besides trifles, a child's drawing was hidden in the bag, leaving them puzzled. The frustrated guards shook their heads and left, as Lee Minjun met a street hustler before leaving the airport. The scene of the two making the deal was spotted by the observing police captain, while Lee Minjun remained blissfully unaware. Lee Minjun quickly opened the bag, pulling out the children's drawing, and below was the prized artwork finally revealed. After confirming its authenticity, the hustler immediately handed him $2.05 million. The hustler even gave him directions on where to go next, specifying which taxi to take. Just as he left, the police captain charged him with his team. Spotting the empty rubber band, he quickly realized had been played. The noisy footsteps jolted Lee Minjun awake, and sensing danger, he bolted for the airport exit. He quickly searched for the car the street person mentioned, but was unfortunately targeted by police from behind and fled the opposite way. In his panic, Lee Minjun hopped into a taxi, slamming the door closed and shouting, "Step on it." Luckily, the driver was Korean. The driver, reluctantly, had no choice but to floor the gas to avoid any trouble. Moments later, the driver stopped, grumbled about bad luck, and pulled Lee Minjun out, showing no warmth for a fellow townsman. Lee Minjun tried to explain, yet the driver refused to go on. Finally, he used his power, offering $100 to persuade the driver. With the hustler's help, Lee Minjun finally managed to make an international call, as if he could finally secure the assistance he desperately needed. "I need your help to get my fellow countrymen to safety," Lee Minjun excitedly exclaimed. Just as they were fueled with enthusiasm, sirens wailed, reminding Lee Minjun that trouble was right around the corner again. Realizing their window of opportunity was slipping away, Lee Minjun panicked. He couldn't let Jinsu slip away like this, so when he arrived at the destination, he asked Jinsu to come with him to meet the hustler. But no matter how he pleaded, Jinsu flatly refused, leaving Lee Minjun scrambling for ideas. Perhaps for the low of €50, Jinsu ultimately acquiesced and got out with him. They met the mercenaries introduced by the mediator, and old Wu had also returned safe from his rescue, being secretly guarded in another location. All they needed was to pay the $2.05 million upfront and settle the balance before boarding. Then, this mission could be wrapped up perfectly. But Lee Minjun felt a sense of unease. He even asked Jinsu to accompany him, promising to help him secure a visa. Lee Minjun hoped to ensure that Jinsu wouldn't have to wonder anymore, adamantly stating he couldn't give up. If everything went according to plan, Jinsu's future would be bright, and Lee Minjun would witness all that success. Everything was ready, just waiting for Jinsu to decide again. Otherwise, they'd be stuck lingering in this precarious place. So, they all need you to subscribe to our channel, or just sit back and enjoy more hilarious stories to come. Your subscription will help us bring even more amazing content, so don't miss out.